Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. This is Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me for our review of the Homestead race for the NASCAR Cup Series is Jay Huseman. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you, Sharon. We have reached the top, if you will, as we cover the NASCAR Cup Series event there at Homestead Miami. One driver still at the top, but there's a little bit different storyline in this one. It's not as a dominant win as we saw in the Truck Series or how he ran in the Xfinity Series.
Absolutely. Kyle Larson, of course, wanted to go for the complete sweep of the weekend. However, he fell short in the Xfinity Series, and he had to work for all of these, really. He was contending in the Xfinity Series, had a 16-second lead. And the caution is what made the difference in a restart. And we'll talk about that on Hot Topics later tonight. But Kyle Larson gets his first Cup Series win of the season at Homestead Miami. He proved himself the weekend's most dominant driver at Homestead, winning 2 of the 3 National Series races and capping off the extraordinary 3-day performance with a victory in the Straight Talk Wireless 400 in the NASCAR Cup Series. Larson was able to seize upon a miscue by his Hendrick Motorsports teammate, Alex Bowman, who put his pole-winning number 48 Chevrolet in the outside retaining wall with just 6 laps left in Sunday's race. The contact allowed Kyle Larson's number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet to pass him for the race lead and jet off to a 1.205 second win. The 32-year-old Californian's first series trophy of the year. So congratulations to Kyle Larson for a fantastic weekend. The win was the first of the year, the second at Homestead, and the 30th career win. Alex Bowman finished second, followed by Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, AJ Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick. A lot of people thought he might win. Ryan Preece and Justin Haley are your top 10 finishers. Larson passed Bowman with those 6 laps remaining and pulled away to win by more than a second. Ryan Blaney, who led the most laps of the race, fell out of the race on lap 124 after he lost his engine. Just 70 laps left. He ended up finishing 36th. What a disappointment that had to be for him. He was fantastic throughout the race, and then his car just blew up. The fastest...
Go ahead, sorry. You go ahead and hit it.
The fastest lap bonus was earned by Bubba Wallace. Stage 1 by Ryan Blaney. Stage 2 by Denny Hamlin. There were 27 lead changes among 9 drivers, 4 cautions for 27 yellow flag laps. And the average speed of the race quite a lot faster than the others at 131.876 miles per hour. The highest finishing rookie of the race was Shane Van Gisbergen. He was in 32nd place as the highest finishing rookie of the race. So your thoughts about the top 10 finishers, Jay?
Well, unfortunately, I don't want to start at the top 10. It would be, as you mentioned, 36th place Ryan Blaney in a Ford. And we were just talking about that. Fords have been so strong to start the season, but don't have the wins. And Ryan Blaney, I believe that's his 3rd DNF in a row, but led 5 times for 124 laps. Next to closest was Bubba Wallace, who led 3 times for 56. Alex Bowman, 6 for 43. Kyle Larson led 6 times, but only for 19 laps. So that's why I said this one, same result, Kyle Larson winning. However, a little bit different storyline. And as Sharon talked about getting by Alex Bowman after he hit the wall, I saw Alex Bowman's post-race, and he said, Kyle was probably going to pass me anyway. I just wanted to make it a little harder on him and not give it to him by getting into the wall. So Alex knew he probably was going to get beat.
Yeah. He was trying to block him and got a little too close to the wall. But he had a good day. He was on the pole and ended up in second That's nothing to hang your head about.
Absolutely not. I think one that really has their head held up high, though, is Bubba Wallace. Again, leading the
Yes.
second most laps, 3 times for 56. Good run. Started ninth, started there in the top 10 and picked up a stage win. So good start to the season for Bubba Wallace in that number
He was
23.
like, finally.
Yeah, I heard some of his post race, his social media afterwards as well. In a real good place mentally as well right now, so that's good news. Denny Hamlin, you mentioned Tyler Reddick. I know he finished in the top 10 there in 8th, but really overall wasn't really a factor throughout the race. Yeah, exactly. Last year's winner having made that move to get in the playoffs and just wasn't there this weekend. I say that again, finished top 10, but wasn't one of the ones we were talking about as a top contender throughout the race.
And I'll tell you, there were, 267 laps was the total. Quite a few drivers there. 25 drivers finishing all 267 laps. And the rest of the drivers, with the exception of the 2, and we talked about Ryan Blaney, finished a lap or more down. Ryan Blaney had the engine issue taking him out on lap 207, but on lap 184, Carson Hocevar also had a engine issue that took him out of the race early. So those are the only 2 mechanical issues that we had all weekend for the Cup Series. So kind of interesting stats there. We mentioned Bubba Wallace getting that fastest lap award. That gives him that extra bonus point, Jay.
We'll see. And I know we talked about that already several times this year. I believe he is either second or third in overall bonus points earned so far this year. I think he's third behind Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, I believe. I'm not 100% on that. One thing, though, that I noticed throughout this of talking about not only the competitiveness of all the teams, the strength of the cars. There was, out of the 37 starters, mentioned 25 being on the lead lap, but going all the way down to J.J. Yaley in 35th was only 4 laps down. And we talked about this in the Xfinity as well. So you mentioned Ryan Blaney covering 207 laps, only 60 some laps short, went from top 5 leading and in contention to finishing almost dead last. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
It is. He was my driver to watch this season. I really thought he was going to start off the season very, very strong. And it's not that he's run badly. He has run very well. It's just that, like we've been talking about Joey Logano, the same thing. They can't finish the race out. Where did Joey Logano finish? He finished in 14th this week. So, yeah, just amazing, the bad luck coming out of Team Penske. And even Austin Cindric. Where did Austin Cindric finish? 19th, yeah. So very surprising start for Team Penske this season.
Well, and I say overall, I've just been watching of Fords. They've been really good in race, and then just the finishes aren't quite there. In this case, Chris Buescher, the top finishing Ford, coming home in 6th. Started 11th, another one that was there. I wouldn't say it got talked about a lot as far as the top 5 are contending for the win, but it at least gets the finish. And then Ryan Preece, teammate from RFK, in the 9th spot. And they have been, I say, almost carrying Ford more so than Penske. I know Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney have been up front and dominating, but again, having problems in the latter part of the race and not getting the finish, whereas Ryan Preece has been. He's one that might pick as the next one to get their first victory if we were to see one this year. And I think we will.
And I won't give anything away now, but just to kind of preview our hot topics for later on tonight, some people are thinking that Alex Bowman is in trouble. And we'll talk about it tonight. But yeah, it's just amazing. took the pole, finished second, and he's in trouble at Hendrick Motorsports. So we'll talk about that tonight on our Hot Topic segment. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm shaking my head too.
Yeah. Well, and I'll highlight even more why we even have to talk about it when we do the point standings.
Yes, let's go ahead and do the point standing, Jay.
All right. With that, now some of this is going to be kind of confusing, but William Byron is your points leader. Does have one race win and a total of 6 playoff points built up. Then you got Kyle Larson is back 36 points. Just mentioned it. Alex Bowman is third in points, 39 points back, third Hendrick Motorsports car to be in the top 3. The only driver to have finished in the top 10 in 5 of the 6 races. That was something I picked up today on SiriusXM when that conversation you just mentioned was being had of what do you got to do then to have job security? But he's third in points. Fourth is Tyler Reddick. Christopher Bell, 3 victories in a row, but is 5th in points. Then you got 6 is Chase Elliott. Followed that, Bubba Wallace, mentioned a great start for him. Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney. That's the top 10. 11th is Joey Logano, then Josh Berry, who's got a victory and some bonus points built up. Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, Michael McDowell, and Ryan Preece. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I know we're early in the season, but we're talking about points. 15th, Michael McDowell is at 134, tied with Ross Chastain at 134. 16th, which would be the playoff cut line, is 130 points, belongs to Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, and John Hunter Nemechek. Ryan Preece is the one that has the tiebreaker right now with the best finish in the season over Kyle Busch and John Hunter Nemechek. Remember, John Hunter Nemechek started out with 2 top 10s. So that's pretty unbelievable for Ryan Preece to be in that position. And again, right there on that edge. Now, the problem is behind him, you got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He is a Cup Series winner. AJ Allmendinger, Cup Series winner. Road course is going to come into play. Austin Cindric, Cup Series winner. Daniel Suarez, Cup Series winner. Eric Jones, Cup Series winner. Those are the ones right there on the heels of that top 15 or 16 points battle. So that's not good because, again, it's going to get awful tight. And we talk about those 1 point.
One point makes a difference. And I will tell you, even going a little bit higher, you mentioned the tie between Ross Chastain and Michael McDowell. Chase Briscoe is just 1 point ahead of them at 135. So again, this is going to be a very tight battle to watch throughout the season because we're already seeing a lot of ties, a lot of competition, especially in this lower part of the playoff scenario where that includes that bubble. So that 1 point does make a difference. And, you know, Christopher Bell right now, he's 5th, but he jumps right to the top once the playoff starts. He's got the 16 playoff points. He's got 3 wins already on the season. So he'll skip over all these other guys with all those playoff points. It's going to help him when the playoffs begin.
And you mentioned that, you're right. If they were to reseed, Bell would go to the top. The next one is Kyle Larson with 7, getting 5 for the win. He is the first one to pick up the second stage win, which he did last week. Ryan Blaney, though, also picked up now 2 stage wins. So he's got 2 playoff points. The only other one above 5 would be William Byron with 6, 1 win and 1 stage win, and Josh Berry with the same stats, 1 win and 1 stage win, putting them at 6. Other than that, it's 2 and then 1, and they're scattered all the way down to, what is that, Austin Cindric had 1. I think he had his at Daytona maybe. So again, those points are important. The playoff points extremely, and that's why we saw that with Christopher Bell last year. And I know they said they're going after all these bonus points, stage points that they can get, because they were the ones in that race that it was going to be determined of who's in and who's out based off of a tie.
Yes, it's just incredible how tight it is already. And I don't think it's going to let up anytime soon, Jay. I think that we're going to continue to see this tight battle throughout these series, throughout the season. So this is a highly competitive year.
I think so too, and I was talking about possible winners just from below the top 16. Even within the top 16, then you talk about drivers that don't have wins yet. Alex Bowman, who got second. Tyler Reddick doesn't have a win yet. Denny Hamlin, not yet. Ryan Blaney, not yet. Joey Logano, not yet. And these are all drivers we expect to win, or at least I do. I will say that. And then you have these
points right now. But yeah, if somebody lower gets a win, it's going to push them further and further down that list.
And that's even more intensity level of picking up if somebody does from below the line. And that's not, discounting anybody else that's up there in the points. Chase Elliott, another one, because he's 6. Doesn't have the win yet. Bubba Wallace, we've seen him be top 5. And when you're in the top 5 knocking on that door, eventually good things are going to happen. If it's not outright win it, we've seen it. If you're in the right position at the end of one of these races, top 5, third position could come to you.
It definitely could. Okay, well, just so you know, we are working on getting that interview with Patrick Staropoli. I know he's working. He might have a late day today at work, and maybe hasn't gotten my email yet. But we have dates open later this week, Tuesday or Thursday, where we might be able to get that interview in. So stay tuned. That interview is coming. I promise you that interview is coming. Patrick is an old friend of ours on Fan for Racing Radio. We've followed him for a very long time. And going back to the Peak Stock Car Challenge, I think we were following him even before then. And it's funny, I was watching his, they had to submit a video before to get accepted into that Peak Stock Car Challenge. And I watched his video earlier today, and it's really cool how creative he was in putting together that video. If you ever get a chance to watch it, I would highly recommend it. It had some creativity built into the video. And I think I want to talk to him about that and how he put that together. We did way back when, but it would be fun to hear his thoughts about that video at this stage. But we promise that interview is coming. Sal, as we mentioned, was at the track. I think he probably has some interviews lined up as a result. And so watch for more news coming on that front. We've done all of the previews now for the weekend of racing, but later on tonight at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off with myself, Jay, and Chris Crichton will be joining us for that as well. We're going to make Chris a regular on Hot Topic Sound Off here at Fan for Racing Radio. He's another old friend of ours that goes way back in our Fan for Racing Radio days, and it's going to be fun to have him as a part of our Fan for Racing crew.
Certainly is, and I love to see that. And like I said, for those fans watching and listening to these videos, if you start interacting with us on the live feed, by all means, don't be afraid to have a disagreement or a varying opinion. Just do it respectfully. And I think we did that last week. Me and Chris did not see eye to eye on a couple of things. Sharon and I don't see eye to eye on a couple of things, mainly because I'm taller than her. But no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that does make the eye level different. So, but anyway, we it's okay to disagree. We just ask that you do it politely because this is a kid-friendly show. I know my grandkids tune in now and then, and I don't know how many other kids might be tuning in. So we just ask you to keep it kid-friendly. That's the only request that we have. And so we're looking forward to it. I think we've got quite a few topics. We probably won't be able to get to all of them. So we'll be trying to figure out what our top topics are going to be. Any that you want to highlight here, Jay? Just as a teaser?
Yeah, that was one of, and I don't remember, I don't think we actually got to it. I think I've kind of teased it a couple of times, but talking about the championship race. Where should it be held? Phoenix is going to have it yet again this year, and that's as far as it's been announced. But it's been there for more than that normal 3 years that we talk about of rotation of stuff. So is it time to, Las Vegas? We had a great race at Las Vegas last weekend, so I was thinking maybe there. We know it's been at Miami Homestead in the years past for, I believe, a 10-year stretch, if I'm not mistaken. The racing we saw there this weekend makes a great case to bring it back. You can't argue against that either. So that'll be one I'd like to hear from Chris as well as you, Sharon. I know we've talked about that a little bit offline as well.
Okay, so we'll talk about that tonight on Hot Topic Sound Off. Again, that's a live stream.
Just get on here, subscribe, follow the YouTube channel, and interact with us on the comment section. We would love to hear from you. And again, always get that varying opinion, thoughts behind it. That's a great thing about, you talk about other sports, you're either for one team or the other when they're playing each other. When you got a race, you're talking about 36 people, 36 teams. So you got 36 opinions and ones you're rooting for. That's what I love about racing.
And again, we don't mind that you disagree. Just do it politely and we'll go from there. But anyway, it's time for us to probably sign off for tonight. I know we're going to be doing previews for the upcoming races at Martinsville on probably Friday morning. So stay tuned for those coming along the way here as well.
As I say, Sharon, that's a loaded question if you're going to ask if I'm doing anything during the week. I said of tomorrow night, if Dr. Stapoli were to look for that to be scheduled, that I was like, that'd be the fourth different place I'm supposed to be on the same night. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely stay busy during the week.
So we'll see everybody during our Hot Topic Sound Off segment tonight. We hope you'll join us. Again, that starts 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and 7 p.m. Pacific Time. So jump on with us. We'd love to hear from you. Take care, everybody.
All right.
We'll see you
Talk to you and Chris later.
We'll see you in Hot Topics.